Here at the Super Spa Nationals in Pwllheli, 2016. We're on the beach. We've got a 1 hour postponement at the moment. There's only about 2 knots in the bay, so everybody's mightily pleased to be in the bar or relaxing on the beach. Pete, okay, so we've done this before when it's been light, but it's been pretty light and a bit of chop at the moment. So how did you set your boat up for that?
Well, I think today, first day was quite choppy and light. That was quite difficult, but I think today will be a little bit nicer for the guys. It's going to be flat water and light airs, so you can sort of essentially going off traveller and main sheet tension, using chocks a little bit just to straighten up your entry, just to get flow attaching a little bit earlier, and that's pretty much it for boat setup.
Okay, so let's see, set it up for going upwind then, and then we'll just concentrate on those bits on the trail on the thwart and. Okay, so the travellers, you've got that quite a way out there.
Yeah, so I just knock it down and then I sort of look at the outboard end and just sort of raise it up to where I want it to be. Balance it with the main sheet tension, because ultimately it'll be main sheet that'll bring it in.
Okay.
Something about there, like that.
Yeah. What about centreboard positioning in this stuff? Do you want it right down or, you know...
Yeah, centreboard are probably in between front and back. I don't like it all the way down. I don't know why, but for me it'll probably a long way down.
Okay.
So yes.
And you were talking about the chocks there in the mast. So I see the mast is looking pretty neutral at the moment in the middle of the gate. Obviously, I'm assuming you will chock it.
Yeah, so what I tend to run with is a 10mm and a 5mm. I think this is 6 at the minute. And what I'll tend to do is if it's quite light, what I'll normally do is I'll normally go 5 in the front.
Okay.
And just leave the 10 floating in the back. It won't really do very much. As the breeze gets up, I'll probably remove that 5 for a 10 for the back one here. Kick that further forward as the breeze picks up this afternoon, which hopefully it will do.
What about obviously people who haven't got the cutout? They'll be slightly different, won't it, for them?
Yeah, I don't think you need to really worry about the cutout too much whilst you're sailing. It's just there for whilst you're onshore static rake measurement. You only really need to take 3 or 4mm off the back to get your rake measurement. Right. I wouldn't worry about that too much.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll crunch some numbers at some point, and I'll get those on the video as well. Okay. Now, how about, we haven't talked about it really, but how about trim? Your trim in the boat. So going upwind and this sort of stuff. Whereabouts are you sitting in the boat?
I'm sort of sat with my front knee pretty close to the thwart. Probably my right arse cheek, forward arse cheek, sat pretty close far forward. But try and keep the boat as flat as possible. And
how about downwind on the run, on the reaches? Is it do you go back much, or are you staying there pretty much?
Staying there and heel it to windward quite a bit. Rely on that, but no, try and keep nice and forward if I can all the time in light stuff.
Okay, and I see you've got a great big elastic on there, a mast boom out elastic. You'll see that's a pretty handy thing to have, is it, the run? And
yeah, so I run on 10mm, 10mm elastic. That helps in the dead downwind stuff, just to keep the boom out there, kick her off. keeps the boom out, then projects a lot of area in the really light stuff, and you can't really get much flow going.
And how about this? Obviously, the lens foot. You got the foot out. Is that how you'd have it for going upwind in this sort of conditions?
So again, so I think I've said in previous chats is have my in haul in a neutral position. And again, if it's flat, you can probably get away with a little bit of a flatter foot, maybe something like that. But on the first day, it was quite choppy. So what I found I was easing it a little bit more, just get a little more drive.
A bit more beef.
Yeah.
And while we're looking at it, obviously this is the P2, which is a bit of an experimental north.
It is, yes.
An update from the SK2K.
ST2K.
And so tell me, what sort of differences are we looking at in here?
So here we've played around a little bit with luff curve lower down. So I don't know if you can see, obviously talking from battens from top to bottom, we've got 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 5. We've added a little bit more and focused on battens 4 and 5. So we've added luff curve there. And in doing so, played a little bit around with broad seam at the top near the class insignias.
Okay.
Flatten that out a little bit, so in this lighter stuff it'll help to open up, which is quite nice. But with the chocks, using the chocks, we can start to utilise the luff curve a little bit more and play around with 5 and 10 mils. So we're more powered up in the heavier stuff, in the medium stuff, and then in the lighter things we can go to a 5 mil chock and flatten at the entry.
Okay, and what does P2 mean? Has it got any relevance, or do you just make these up in the...
Pwllheli?
Pwllheli too, yeah, okay, right.
So, that's
all right.
the emphasis on the event.
Okay. Oh, well, that's great, Pete. Thanks very much for your knowledge.
Sure, thanks.
Cheers.